Okay, you should have gotten a little thing that said, this is recording. Um, Welcome to the second Intro to Niche Academy. This is pretty much just a walkthrough of what the SEKLS Academy looks like in Niche, how to use it, what's going to be happening there, and then you'll get to play with it yourself. There have been a few changes, nothing dramatic, some additions, and I'll show you the first coolest change here. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully I'm going to share the right screen. Here we go. You know this website. This is the SEKLS website. I'm going to move my chat box. Look, there's our beautiful new logo. And over here on the right is this green tab that says learning. It might say something else later. I don't know. Give us your feedback on what that should say. Um, it stays right there no matter where you are on the screen. We could even go to the calendar page and it's still there, right there on the right side of the screen. If you click on that, this is where it's going to ask you to sign in. The SEKLS Academy is by sign-in only because our contract with Niche does not allow us to have a public academy. This is also nice because it helps us keep track of who's completed what tutorials and all of that. So right here, looks like my email isn't even in there because this is a different browser. So I'm typing in my login, click next, and my password, if I can remember what that is. I got it right. We're not saving it on here, but this is what happens after you log in from that little widget on the side of the screen from the SEKLS website. If you want, you can operate it from right here. It's a little small and you don't get the full Academy screen, right? Because we still have the SEKLS and just a list over here. This is where you find the categories. We'll look at that on the full thing, but you can click full screen and it opens up our Academy. Okay. If you wanted to go just directly to our Niche Academy, that would be my.nicheacademy.com/SEKLS. But again, thank you to Jake because he got us hooked up with the cute little green tab here on the side. So you can't lose it now. You know how to get to sekls.org, and it's on every single page on the SEKLS website. All right. I'm going to move this thing that has all of your lovely faces on it so that I can see. So if you end up having a question, I'm not looking at your faces or at the chat, just unmute yourself and holler and go ahead and ask. So here it is. This is your Niche Academy. The first place you want to go if this is your first time here is right here. It says Readme first. The recording from today is going to live here. Right now, the recording from last time lives here. If at any time you enter a tutorial, Niche calls them tutorials. Sometimes we call them courses. Sometimes we call them modules. Be flexible. See right up here in the address bar, it says course. So if at any time you want to go back to the full academy, you can just click this little back arrow here on the upper left. I believe you can also click on, you can also click on the little mortarboard graduation hat up here on the upper right. That takes you back to the full academy as well. Okay, but go to the README first. This is just a little intro. On the right side of the screen, you'll find the different parts to this module, tutorial, course, whatever. This one is not actually a course. There's no CE for doing the README first. It's just the repository for information on how our academy works, including an FAQ, which is forever growing. But over here on the right, you also have your recording. This is where the recording from last time lives. So this was our soft launch intro to niche. We will be adding, we'll keep this one here, memorialize it, and add today's intro to niche recording in another spot down here below. You can either click next to go to the next thing, previous to go to the previous thing, or you can click on specific sections of the module over here on the right. This is an important one, especially for things like the any of our modules that are just like resource repositories, our interest groups, the bedbug module. Those are things that generally aren't eligible for CE, but they have lots or will have lots of resources that you might want to access more than once. And because of the way that niche is set up, it wants to let you complete things that you've started. So if you've gone through and clicked on every single one of these sections of a module, it'll think that you have completed the whole course. And it's going to show you something like this the next time you click on it. Congratulations, you completed this tutorial. And you go, okay, well, how do I see the stuff? I still want to see it. You can click retake. That confuses the system a little bit. I would say that if you are new and maybe your predecessor took the course, but you haven't taken it, absolutely click that retake tutorial if you are using the same login information. Otherwise, all you have to do is click on view tutorial. That's not clickable, it's just a screenshot, but that'll allow you to see all of that information that you had access to before without resetting your CE. Let's see. So yeah, that's what's going to pop up if you've already clicked on all of the sections in a module, even if it is not for CE credit. This is the important part. This is how you get that CE if you are working through a module that is eligible for credit. We haven't fully standardized this yet. So because we have multiple editors now, yay, some are going to be a little bit different. But in many of our tutorials, it's going to have a section that says earn your credit, and we'll go and look at that in just a moment. The important part is that if you or someone else from your library has already gotten credit for this or already viewed the live session, for example, we have some older recordings from SEKLS uploaded as tutorials. If you previously attended this CE opportunity with SEKLS, you're not eligible for credit. Let's see. Look at that. Here's a live example. I've already completed this. No, let's go back. So there's some information about our interest groups. By and large, the modules for our interest groups are not eligible for CE credit unless otherwise noted by the facilitator. Okay, and if you have a question about that, contact the person in charge of that interest group and they can help you out. For the most part, those interest group modules are just repositories for things like recordings, resources that we've talked about in the interest group, and some of them also have a little text-based discussion area like those online bulletin boards that we used to use in the late 90s. Okay, so here we are back to the main page, but before I continue, I'm going to welcome anybody who is new and remind you that if you just got here, please put your name and the name of your library in the chat. And if you have any questions right now, go ahead and ask. I'm going to look at all your beautiful faces here for just a moment.
Hey, Amy, can I ask a question real fast?
Absolutely.
So I think the biggest struggle I've had so far with this is getting people actually logged in. So like when you go to the login page, it just asks for your email and then it asks for a password.
Mm-hmm.
Are people getting sent those passwords or do they just have to reset the password on the first login?
If they do not have a password, that's because they have not been registered yet. So some of you, I don't know if people here may have already received them, but today and the rest of the week, let's be honest, there are a lot of people to get added, but today you will be receiving invitations to niche. So if you are at an academic library or a school library, or if you are part of the library staff that's not the director, you're going to get added to niche on our end, and niche will send you an invitation to register, and that's where you'll set up your password and all of that stuff. So if you went there right now without your login information, yeah, you wouldn't be able to get logged in. Great question. Yes, you will receive an invitation from niche to go ahead and get that login information. I guess I should also note, don't just go to nicheacademy.com and register yourself. That won't get you access to the SEKLS Academy. It doesn't work that way. Different organizations have their own subscriptions to niche. In a little bit, I'll show you what it looks like on the State of Kansas website, State Library of Kansas website. Okay, let's move on. I guess I could have stopped screen sharing during that time, huh? Over here on the right side of the screen, so I'm just below these cute icons here, it says categories. I like having this open, so I'm going to click on it. This is all of our tutorials right now are there in a grid, but you can also find them sorted into these different categories. So if you want to work on your library's social media skills, click on that social media, and that's where you can find some tutorials on social media stuff. These are newly added, so I'll have to take a look at them and add a earn your CE down here. But if we go to, for example, this Instagram one, this is a previously recorded SEKLS session, about a half-hour long, so you get a half a credit. You watch that, and then you click on Earn Your CE. This says that I've already done it, obviously. So because of the situation, I'm going to say retake. So for this specific module or tutorial, after completing the video, please tell us about your experience here. And then you click on this, evaluation for CE, and it takes you to this page where you can fill out information, and we receive your answers to this form, and that's what prompts us to make sure that you've got credit in our big fancy spreadsheet of CE credit. I'm going to, so in this situation, if I went back, see it says social media instead of saying SEKLS Niche Academy or whatever. It's going to take us back just to that category. Now it would take us back to the full thing. If we were in here and we clicked on the little mortarboard graduation hat guy, that would take us back to the full thing. Okay. Let's take a look at another one here. Here is Tammy's genreifying picture book collection for SEKLS. Big, beautiful picture in this one. So there are lots of sections here that walks you through what's good about it, why you want to do it, and then walks you through the process and important information. Partway through, you get to take a little test. It's just one question. Works you through the rest. Here's your plan for how you're going to genreify. And you can download the template. She's put a link here. There's more information. And then at the bottom here, where it says evaluation. And this is how you get your credit. Evaluate this course by clicking here. And she's created a specific one for this course. Look at this. If I click homepage, where's it going to take me? There you go. So at the end, that's pretty neat. I haven't encountered this before. At the end of a module, if you click instead of a next or not even having a button, it says homepage down here on the bottom right. You can click on that and it takes you back as well. Let's see, what else do we need to look at? Let's look at an interest group. We will be adding more stuff. In fact, since I have Julie here, I'm going to click on her a little bit. I've got this here. This is our seed library interest group. If you have resources on seed libraries and that kind of thing, you can go ahead and send them to me. If they're links, that's great. If they are documents, that's great too. We can upload all of that to this resources section for the benefit of the entire interest group and really anybody else in our academy that wants to take a look at seed libraries. Might also be useful if you are helping a patron or another library that has questions about interest group, or I'm sorry, about seed libraries. you'll have these resources at your fingertips to be able to share with them. I mentioned earlier that text-based discussion. Down here in this discussion section, I'm going to click on Startup Discussions. So right now, nobody has started a discussion in here. So I'm going to say something. This is the discussion board for seed libraries. Getting started. Click post, and there it is. So if somebody else has something to say, they can just click join the conversation and type in that box just like I did. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment to see if there are any questions. Are we good for right now, all? Okay. Let's share again. Guys, I am struggling. Where's my screen share thing? There it is. Scared. It's bright green down at the bottom. Okay. So here we are again. I'm going to click on that categories again because I really like having this open. It's entirely up to you how you want to set up your little desktop. Right here, down in the middle is this one about bed bugs. This is another example of something that is right now, just a repository for information. You'll notice in here it says that a video or activity that would qualify for CE may be added at a later date. If we find something that would work to make a bed bug course, it's going to go in here. Until then, it's just resources. Right now, we have these awesome slides about bed bugs, and Kim has shared with me some more resources to add here. For example, SEKLS has those heating tents that that you can put affected books into, and it heats it up and kills the bed bugs. We have documentation about that can go under this resource thing. Right now, this one, if you click on that link, it downloads a PDF of the slide deck for this presentation. Eventually, there we go. And this has all the good information. I'm not going to click on all of these slides because there are pictures of bed bugs and they're kind of intense. But honestly, it has so much good information, lots of illustrations about things to look for and things like that. I think we'll also add a resource in there for the bug hounds, which SEKLS and Iola Public Library use. I recommend them because they're cute, but they are also effective at identifying affected areas. There are a couple other things to note here. Some of our tutorials are made by SEKLS, and some of them are made by other niche users. So for example, let's try this one, Google Drive. This one is, I think, 3 short videos, and I mean really short. This one's 39 seconds. They start automatically. This one's about 2 minutes, and then the other one is, again, about 2 minutes. So you're only watching, what is that, at most like 5 minutes of content. But to earn the CE for the specific tutorial, no, retake it. We're going to retake it. You click on the Earn Your CE, and we've created a little exercise so that you can demonstrate your learning. So for this specific one is to use the tools you just learned to create and share a folder in Google Drive. You share it with me, and then you complete your evaluation. If you complete those 2 tasks, then you get your 0.5 CE. This is neat. Down here at the bottom, there's a little link that says go to Google Drive. So if I were to click on that, it would take me directly to drive.google.com, and I would be able to go ahead and complete that task for credit. I'll go back to here. Here's another example of something created by not SEKLS. This one was made by LinkedIn Learning and put up on Niche Academy. This one is a lot. It's only 1 CEU, but there are several videos, and each section has an activity for you to do some hands-on learning, which is really useful. And at the very end, there's a quiz. For this one, to earn your credit, because there is already like 3 different activities and a quiz in there, we don't assign you an extra task, only to complete an evaluation. So again, you would click on that and it takes you to the form, and then you put in the information, and that's how you get your credit. It also has a resources page. Right. Okay, back to the Academy. Jason and or Kim, if you wanted to show us that basic cataloging one, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. Do you want to show us that, or?
Sure, I can. So it's a lot of the same thing that you were showing, but can you give me like screen share?
I sure can try. I'm making you a co-host. Does that work?
That should work.
Okay.
Okay, so is this thing niche? Good. So the cataloging one, I'm gonna is just a basic introduction to cataloging, and we're using it to allow staff to gain cataloging permissions. So there's just some different sections talking about our available resources. It's meant to kind of take the place of Kim coming out and training. So if you click through, there's again videos and different information, and then at the bottom we have a quiz and a practice session. So there's a quiz to kind of make sure that you learned what we need you to learn, and then a practice section where you can pick some different books and titles to try cataloging, and then you'll tell us what you cataloged, and then Kim will kind of review your work, and if it's all good, then we can give you permissions, and if it's not all good, then we'll follow up with you. So that's kind of how we've laid that one out.
Thank you, Jason. And I want to mention that this is one that, while it is a tutorial or a course, it also works really well as a resource. So if you you've already taken it and you're doing your cataloging, but maybe you're like, oh, what was that I'm supposed to do with a certain part of it? I'm not a cataloger. I don't have fancy words. I'm gonna
So
screenshot.
if you want to use that as a refresher, it's good for that. Like if you're not cataloging very often, but you just need some to refresh yourself on what the steps are, you can walk through it, but not actually take the full course or the quizzes and whatnot.
And this would be another situation where if you completed it, right? If you've already been all the way through it and it shows you that little screen, I'll click on this one just so that we can see it. If it shows you this little screen, you're going to want to click View Tutorial. If you yourself have already taken it, you are going to want to click View Tutorial so that you can see all those resources without erasing in the system the fact that you've taken the tutorial. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Do we have any questions? Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to open up the State Library of Kansas website and share my screen. All right. This is my favorite website in the whole world. If you wanted to know something strange about me, that's all of your public library statistics. You can see over here on the left, they also have a green button. It's not quite as bright as ours. And they're calling it tutorials. But again, you can see this from any page on the State Library of Kansas website. I click on that. It automatically has taken me here. It's not going to ask me to log in at this stage. So there's all of your categories. You may find that this is a good source for your patrons. For example, down here, research for kids, right? If you have a school age patron come in and they need to do an animal report on the stoat, for example, this probably isn't the right website for that, but it gets you to, whoops, this page here that can show you what that resource is and gives you a link to that resource. This might be a place. No. So I'm going to say this might be a spot where it asks you to log in because the State Library of Kansas does have some digital resources that they subscribe to that you'll need your your state library card. I don't remember if that's what it's called. But you might need that for logging into some of their resources. So I'm telling you this because in their Niche Academy, when they link out, it may be to something that they have a special subscription to that's not open to the public. And so you would need your login credentials for that. Luckily, a state library card is free and you can help your patrons sign up for one so that they can have access to those resources as well. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to show you all before I take just questions. Let's take a look. At this page again. This little search thing, it's at the very top in the center, Mr. Magnifying Glass. This searches just our academy. So if I wanted to find everything that has Google tools or mentions Google in it in our academy, type that in and it provides us with a list. Okay. Generally, you might not need to do that because we have these special little categories over here. But if you don't want to spend your time scrolling through all of the options here in this grid, which there will be even more, so that scrolling might take a little bit, or you don't want to guess at which category it might be under, you can use that little search feature. These little icons up here next to the graduation cap, there is the marketplace one. This is where you can find things that we haven't loaded in. My request of you is to, if you find something that you think we can all benefit from, that other libraries might be interested in, to send me an email and ask me to add it to the academy. I always search free only because I don't want to pay extra right now. Let's try something like customer service. Okay. You might find, just like we have stuff that we've created and things that are specific to our system. So like the Seek and Find catalog training is specific to us, right? Pioneer Library System has added their customer service module, and that's specific to them. But there are others that are more general that you may find useful. Now, that is not to say that this, for example, wouldn't be useful to you, right? If you're working on your policy or you're working on training staff or you're working on a strategic plan and you want to take a look at what's going on in other libraries, there's a lot of information in here that really might be useful to you. They have several videos and they're all fairly short. So you can access this without adding it. And I'm still not sure. I need to find out from the niche people whether if you click add, will it add it to everybody's niche interface there. Let's see. Right next to the little tote bag is your settings, that little gear. Next to that, the little question mark is the help, which I find really, really useful while building this and editing stuff. If you find that there's something wrong with your account or something, you can submit a ticket to niche, but always check the help and or send me an email and we will try and get it solved. I have had very good luck communicating via email with the representatives at niche. They're really responsive when you need help solving a technical problem. So the little person is your profile that takes you to your account. I believe this is the courses that you are enrolled in, and some reports that you probably don't need, and your logout. Your account is really not much at all, right? Your name and your email, your language, and this is where you can change your password if you need to. So for example, let me go ahead and unshare here. if you retire, for example, you have a generic email address for the director at the library, for example. Your successor would be able to, log into your niche and change their password right there in it. I'm going to see if anybody has any questions right now. Yes, Miss Sharon.
So eventually, are we going to open this to trustees for trustee training?
Yes, we will eventually open this to trustees for trustee training. They will be last, so they're not getting emails this week. Please, please, please make sure that your trustee contact information is up to date with us. The logistics for getting trustees loaded into niche is a little overwhelming to me, as far as making sure, again, that our contacts are always up to date so that we're not providing access to random members of the public against our contract. So if you're if someone leaves your board, we will need to know about it so that we can take them off of niche. In the meantime, though, we are, as I said before, loading in old videos and uploading new stuff. So you may find something in niche that would work well for them for a trustee training, and you are absolutely welcome to log in during a board meeting or something and walk through that with them during that time. Yes, Sharon.
Curious if anybody else has a board member who has discovered niche through the state library. I get at least 2 Niche Academy certificates at every board meeting from one of my board members who loves niche. And so I can share with you all of the academies or courses or whatever you want to call them that she's gone through. I was just curious if anybody else's board has glommed on to niche through the state library's website.
Sharon, I would love to see that list so that we can go ahead and make a little category for our trustees. Even if they do not have accounts yet, that'll make it easier for our librarians to facilitate their learning.
Well, and she does a good job of letting us know, like evaluating them. It's like, oh, this one was really good, or this one I think everybody should take, or this one, it was okay. So she's got, she's not shy about telling me what she thought about the different courses.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that's really all we have. As I said, this is recorded. It's going to be up in that read this first section. And again, we don't have a whole lot of people here right now, but I want to say that if you are here and you have staff in your library who would like access to niche, please let us know. Send me their email address and I will get them loaded into the system so that they can make so that they can go ahead and register and get started. So all of that's going to get started today. I'll be adding our academics and our staff. And yes, Sharon.
Sorry, one more question.
No,
in the
fine.
resources, can we link to outside CE options like WebJunction webinars that we recommend? Or does it all have to just be niche to niche links?
We can probably do that. We can, I don't think we can embed it.
No,
but we could, I mean, we can put whatever links we want within within something. So for example, any of those modules that are just resources, that would be a great place to put any relevant outside CE. And if you complete outside CE, just like you have in the past, just let us know, send us a link to it, certificate if you got one, And we'll send you an evaluation to complete, and we'll make sure that that is recorded for you in the big fancy spreadsheet. Okay, so to recap, the easiest, quickest way, thank you, Jake, to get to the SEKLS Niche Academy is to go to sekls.org and locate that pretty green button on the right side of the screen and click on it. That's where you'll log in if you're not logged in yet. If you do not have a login yet, stay tuned. I believe everybody who's here right now should already have one. If you are a public library director and you think you don't have one, go ahead and check your spam folder. We should have sent you an invitation back in April, maybe? Right. So thank you all. I'm going to stop the recording, and you can stick around and ask questions if you have some, but this is what's going to go up on the Intro to Niche recording in the Read This First.